this is the video for evaluation, talking about how our short film Purgatory fits the conventions of the thriller genre. First of all, we'll talk about the atmosphere. So the dark undertones going throughout the film, so low-level lighting in certain scenes, and
for example, in the studio we have quite low-level lighting with a warmer feel. We've colour corrected it so it has a warm atmosphere, more warm atmosphere. Yeah. And we've done that because generally films that are thrillers tend to have low-level lighting.
So films like Fight Club,
Seven.
Yeah,
they all
have these dark undertones which make the audience think that something's not right, and it increases tension and so on.
Yeah.
Okay, so the second thing that would fit the conventions is the music. Even though it's been said that we exaggerated a bit too much, we still tried to create tension, and it was in no way happy music. It was quite violent, or it was kind of anticipating something.
Yeah, it was always gave an ominous feel. You always knew something bad was going to happen, and I think that fits with the codes of the thriller. For example, in Seven. In Seven, they used that music quite a lot throughout the film to try and build up tension.
And that was one of our influences.
Yeah, that was David Fincher was an influence of ours.
Yes. In the London scene, we had quite a subtle soundtrack, just sort of building up tension and anticipating something, his mental instability that was about to occur. And when he kills the girlfriend and it's more dramatic, we thought that increased the tension even more and made it a bit more dramatic. So we think that fits the convention.
So we did try and have dramatic music, it was just a bit too dramatic.
Yeah, it was a bit too dramatic, but we did try.
Yeah.
Thirdly, we'd say the characters themselves. They are very complex characters, which we see in a lot of thriller films now. So if we reference Fight Club again, we have Ed Norton's character, who's mentally unstable and so on. He's conflicting. The audience never really understand him fully. So we tried to create a character where the audience wouldn't fully understand the dynamics, and try and think and make them an active party and make them think about it more.
We tended to follow the structure of you have your hero, your villain, and your damsel in distress, really, which is like from props theory. And basically we had Angus as the hero, which we did challenge the convention slightly there, as he was. He wasn't all murder. Yeah, he wasn't all good. But the story was told through his perspective, so we got that.
We empathised.
Yeah. Then you have Steve, who at first you don't think is the villain, but he turns out to be.
Yeah.
And then you also have the damsel in distress.
And we made the female character quite conventional, because she doesn't really have a fully formed character.
Doesn't have any lines.
Yeah, she's not. We don't give her that much characterisation, and she is more of a.
She's there.
She's there to be the woman.
She's like a prop.
Yeah,
really.
Exactly, an object in many respects.
Which is a convention of the thriller genre, really.
Gaze and so on.
Yeah.
Okay, so the fourth, we would say the props. We used quite a lot of symbolism in the props throughout the film. So, for example, the red pen being a symbol of danger, and the paper clips in the London scene showing the scattering of his blind, and the lamp being in the studio, which is the dreamlike state, and then when he wakes up, the same lamp being there. And we just thought these symbols are quite conventional of the thriller genre, just to give subtle hints here and there to the watchful eye that connections to be made to unveil the truth.
So it's like on your second viewing you can appreciate those things once you've seen them and looked at the film more in depth, which is also always in thrillers. You always have like, once you watch it the second time, you see clues, like The Prestige, for example. You always see clues as to who they are, and
that's why quite a lot of books are written about like psychological thrillers, because there's just so many things going on that people can analyse and make new interpretations from, and that's really what we wanted to create from this film, in the sense that different interpretations could be made, and whether he does have the potential at the end to kill his girlfriend, or whether it was all just a dream, or so on, how much it will affect him through the symbolism in the film. So the fifth thing that we thought was quite conventional were the locations, actually, because we used an office, which we think is quite conventional to the thriller genre. So, for example, Seven is set in an office setting, you know, with detectives and all that kind of stuff.
We also have the asylum scene where
Yeah,
he's in the asylum, which is obviously like a convention of thrillers, because you always have the psychologically insane people. With also the studio, which was wasn't as conventional as previous locations, but I think it still had that. I think the lighting, made it more conventional.
Yeah.
And we also had the house.
Yeah. That's obviously a very common feature of films generally.
To have murder taking place in a house.
Yeah, and I think the house setting itself makes it a lot more relatable to audiences, as they can sort of see the household items like the chairs and the TV and sort of relate to them on the basis that we also own that, and so on, even though you're completely different and so on. So giving that sort of family atmosphere as well.
Yep.
And that's it.
Thanks for listening.